The situation of the Ukrainian Army and NATO forces continues to deteriorate rapidly along the entire combat contact line. Unable to remedy the situation on the battlefield, the Ukrainian General Staff and its NATO military advisors continue to stage serious provocations against Russia, bringing the whole world closer to a nuclear holocaust. In the last 40 days alone, the Ukrainian army, with the help of NATO officers, has fired more than 20 Western long-range missiles deep into Russian territory. Fortunately, almost all of these missiles were successfully intercepted and destroyed by Russian air defense systems. Simultaneously with this, perfidious terrorist attacks continue to be recorded in Moscow and other cities of the Russian Federation. The loudest such terrorist attack was the treacherous murder of the head of the Russian Armed Forces Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Defense Troops, Lieutenant General Yuri Kirillov, and his assistant Major Ilya Polikarpov. Seeing all this, it becomes obvious that the Kiev regime, together with its masters in the West, is trying to provoke Russia into a sharp and extremely harsh response, up to the use of tactical nuclear weapons. It is obvious that the Biden administration, against the backdrop of its humiliating defeat in Ukraine, urgently needs a serious escalation of the conflict, in order to accuse Moscow in the international arena of using lethal weapons systems against Ukraine, and curtail the peace plan of the 47th U.S. President Donald Trump. By the way, immediately after the assassination of General Yuri Kirillov, the Ukrainian Army and NATO forces launched another provocation against Russia. And this provocation has already led to significant losses among the officer personnel of NATO allied countries. My dear truth seekers, in this video, I will tell you in detail about this provocation, and how Russia managed to deliver a devastating blow to the Ukrainian army in the North Atlantic Alliance. So, a few minutes ago, the acting governor of the Rostov region, Yuri Slyusar, officially announced that the day after the assassination of General Kirillov, the Ukrainian Army and NATO forces fired 6 Franco-British Storm Shadow cruise missiles against the Rostov region. According to Yuri Slyusar, Russian air defense systems successfully intercepted and destroyed all these cruise missiles. Later, witnesses began posting numerous videos online, where it is clearly visible the flight of these Western cruise missiles in the skies over Russia, and their debris after being destroyed by Russian air defense systems. Thus, Moscow's enemies once again fired Western high-precision long-range missiles deep into Russian territory. In addition, on the same day, the Ukrainian Army and NATO forces also launched 4 Storm Shadow cruise missiles against targets in cities such as Tokmak and Berdyansk, Zaporizhia region. According to the governor of the Zaporizhia region Yevgeny Belitsky, Russian air defense systems successfully intercepted and shot down all enemy missiles. Russia's reaction to this treacherous attack was not long in coming. So, just a few minutes after this enemy attack, the Russian aerospace forces, together with missile forces, launched a massive combined missile attack on enemy military installations in the Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv, and SUMY regions. It is reliably known that during this attack, Russian forces used dozens of cruise and ballistic missiles, as well as more than 100 uranium kamikaze drones. According to independent monitoring services, more than 30 powerful explosions were recorded in these regions of Ukraine. Moreover, it is reported that the air alert is still sounding in all key settlements of these regions. So, in the Dnipropetrovsk region, in the city of Kryvyi Rog, immediately after a massive attack by uranium kamikaze drones, Russian Iskander-M ballistic missiles struck and destroyed several large industrial objects and energy infrastructure facilities. It is reported that this major city was left without heat and electricity as a result of this attack. It is noteworthy that as of December 20, 2024, the Ukrainian authorities have still not been able to restore the electricity supply to this city. In the Kharkiv region, in the northwestern part of the city of Kharkiv, Russian ballistic missiles, together with kamikaze drones, hit a fuel storage facility and the place of the deployment of the personnel of the Ukrainian army and foreign mercenaries. In addition, Russian missiles also destroyed the infantry and heavy equipment of the Ukrainian army in the area of the settlement of Tsyrkany. It is reported that the Ukrainian High Military Command planned to transfer this infantry and equipment to the positions of the Ukrainian army near the city of Volchansk. It is reliably known that as a result of this missile attack, more than 80 Ukrainian soldiers, 20 foreign mercenaries, and 8 units of heavy equipment, including German Leopard tanks, were destroyed. And finally, in the SUMY region, in the southwestern part of the settlement of Yunakovka, the Russian forces launched the largest number of missile strikes. At the same time, it is worth noting that the Russian military fired 5 Iskander-M ballistic missiles against only one Ukrainian army's military facility, located in this settlement. All this indicates that the Russian military knew exactly where to strike, and what an important target was at this military facility. Later, sources in the Russian military department confirmed that in the settlement of Yunakovka, Russian Iskander-M ballistic missiles destroyed a classified command post of the Ukrainian army, along with 5 active-duty French officers and 8 British Army officers who fired 6 Storm Shadow cruise missiles against the Rostov region. In addition, sources also confirmed the death of 10 Ukrainian army officers who were also in this command post. However, the missile strikes on the SUMY region did not end there. As it turned out, on the same day, Russian missiles also hit an enemy logistics hub in the city of Romny. It is reported that as a result of this missile attack, the Ukrainian Army and NATO forces lost about 20 units of heavy equipment, 50 Ukrainian soldiers, and 15 foreign mercenaries, among whom were also active duty soldiers and officers of armies of NATO countries.